Now, Lynch also was asked about Jauan Jennings. He said, we've been in contact with Jauan. We'll see where that goes. This is going to be one of those things where I'm not sure what his market's going to be because we don't know who values him. People might look at him and say, hey, you know what? His target to yardage ratio this year wasn't very good, and he's kind of slow, and he's had some injuries, and he's probably already played his best ball, and he was probably their third best receiver, and he's a product of Shanahan and all this. I just think that there may be a market for Jennings from astute general managers and know that he's like kind of a cold-blooded winner, but there also may be, less of a market than we think because of all the reasons I just kind of mentioned. So I get the sense that Lynch wants him back. Shanahan wants him back. They're not going to extend very much for him, but they want him back. He seemed weepy at the end of the year because he seemed like he didn't want to leave, but maybe forced to leave. It'll be interesting to see what other teams value him. It sounds like the Niners are like, go shop your wares around the league and come back and let us know what you got, and if we can do something, we will. That's my takeaway, which may not be the way JJ wants it to come down, but that's the ruthless side of business. It's like, we're not going to pay you more than a nickel more than we need to, but we want to pay you because look at their wide receiver core if they don't have him. So, I mean, he's a very key guy. What do you think? How do you think the things are going to play out with Jennings?
He's gone, man. To me, that was right on the wall. He at the end of the season at the goodbye press conference, he broke down. Like, I think he realizes like he's probably outpriced himself for the Niners, and I think we all agree that it's not that the Niners don't want to bring him back. He's going to price himself out. It's happened many times. Last year, Dre Greenlaw, Talanoa Hufanga, two perfect examples. They wanted to bring him back, absolutely. And John Lynch is going to give us the lip service, the PR answers. Yeah, we've met with him. We'll see. He says, we'll see where it goes. That's it. He kept it pretty short and simple. He says, we've talked with them. We'll see where it goes. And I'm sure he wants to, open the door and say, hey, JJ, come back. But if he gets an offer of like 20, 22 million on the market, I think he's as good as gone. I think JJ's played hard over the last couple of years. He was a 7th round pick. Didn't really play his first season because he tore his hamstring. And I think he realized, hey, man, I worked my ass off. I need to get some money for what I feel is worth. I can see him going to Tennessee. He's a Tennessee hero. You got Robert Salah over there. I think he'd be a great veteran over there. There's a lot of options for him on the table. I think he's going to test that market, and he's going to see the money, and he's going to bolt. And the Niners need to get younger, faster. We all love Jauan. He's going to be missed as a clutch receiver, but the Niners need to get some young players. And when Lynch was talking about Jennings today, he kind of pivoted and was talking about Jacob Cowing. So I feel like they know they got to get the youth players. They got to develop these young players. We don't know if Jacob Cowing can be anything on this team, but they want to give him a chance. And he's younger. He's a lot cheaper. We'll see where he goes.
Yeah, I mean, Jacob Cowing has been given – they've treated him like he's on scholarship. I mean, seriously, they have treated him with such kid gloves. He's gotten such baby treatment, if you think about it. He hasn't played. He hasn't done a damn thing. All he's done has been hurt and hurt and hurt some more. And they just don't want to admit that they picked the wrong guy. And so they're just going to wait and wait and wait. I mean, that's my read on it. I like this guy in college, but I mean, he's too weak. He's not getting it done. He can't stay upright. He can't get on the field. He can't stay healthy. And they just don't want to admit that they blew another pick. So it's like, you know what? We're just going to, and I understand why, because he was good in college, but man, if you really think you're going to bolster your receiving core because of Cowing, that's going to be a hard sell to Niner fans.
Yeah. I mean, but that's what they're saying is we got to use the younger players. They got Jordan Watkins. That's another one. Ricky Pearsall, all those three guys they drafted over the last couple of years, Larry, they haven't been anything compared to Jauan Jennings. So it will be a big loss when Jennings leaves, because I don't think he's come back. I'll be very shocked if Jennings walks back through that door and he's a Niner. But that just tells me that they have to put a lot of emphasis on this receiver position. There's a lot of rumors, veterans, drafts. I don't know, man, but they got to do something with this wide receiver room, because if they lose Jennings, which I think they are, his wide receiver room got even worse, which is crazy, because you look at this receiver room and right now you're like, it's pretty bad. You lose Jennings, it's really bad.
Well, it's really bad as it is. Would you trade Ayuk a second and a fifth for AJ Brown? Because that I
Yes.
saw that deal rumored today, and at first when I first saw it, I'm like, yeah, I think I'd do that. But the more I think about where AJ Brown is, maybe I would give one pick, but I don't think I want to give two, and I don't think I want to give a second. That's too high. He's had that situation is deteriorated.
Yeah, I saw that.
They need to make a move. You don't get a second round pick when you need to make a move. I would say I would say here's Ayuk in a third. What do you think?
Yeah, I think yeah, I saw that. I think Bleacher Report posted it at some point on one of their rumors, and it was the second and a fifth. The second and a fifth,
That's
that's a
too
little too
much.
much. I mean, Brandon Ayuk's worth nothing. That's just you throwing him up. Let's see what happens. You could have Brandon Ayuk for free, basically, for a 7th round pick. The fifth round pick, I think, is not enough to get a guy like AJ Brown. I think third, fourth would be doable. Now you give up that second round pick. Now you're just giving him away a pick, and I think you need to keep that pick. So I think AJ Brown, he's over the last 2 years, he hasn't been what he was when he first came in the league. Good player. He came in the same time as Debo, so he's around that age. So it's not like he's younger. You're not getting any younger, but he's a very tough physical receiver, and that's what you would replace with Jauan Jennings, is a very physical receiver. But he's also got some drama. He's had a lot of issues over the last couple of years, antics and things like that. So I don't know if I'm like really sold on AJ Brown, but if we got him for the right price, of course I'd be happy with him. I know there's other rumors. Mike Evans, I don't think he'd be a bad addition as a veteran, but if you go get Mike Evans, Larry, you need to make sure you get a young star receiver, because he could be like a good veteran mentor, and a big deep threat, go up and get it type guy. I think he's still productive, but he can't be your end all be all wide receiver that you add to this locker room this offseason.
I mean, the Niners need a lot at receiver.
Yeah.
They need Pearsall to play better if he's going to be on this team. They need Watkins and Cowing to be heard from. They need their Demarcus Robinson's got to play better. They need a go pattern speed threat, but they also need a chain mover, big bodied, tough guy receiver. I mean, they have a lot of needs at wide receiver for sure. Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah, fired by the Vikings, former Niner exec, is coming back into the fold. Dieter made reference to this about a week to 10 days ago, that there was a hire coming that would reshape the front office. I don't know that this really does. I mean, it gives them another voice, but is this guy out? Is this guy gonna somehow create? Is he going to overrule Shanahan and Lynch? I don't see it. To me, it seems just like just another guy in the room that I don't want to say is a yes man, because I don't know him well, but just a guy in the room that's going to be part of their process, but not like a lead dog kind of a guy. What's your read on Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah returning to the Niners from Minnesota?
Yeah, so from what I read and what I heard, I mean, he called Lynch personally. I guess they had some good, relationship, and he was on the Niners front office before they overlapped. So I'm sure he kept a relationship with John Lynch. The Niners are in the game of always bringing back good for, if you're ever part of the 49ers organization, you could probably come back down the line. And that's what it is. They brought back Saleh. They brought back, Kendrick Bourne this year. They brought back everybody. They bring them back